PDT is a full-service medical device design and engineering consultancy here in Los Angeles. We were founded in 1995, and we've got about 150 people worldwide across 9 offices these days. And I'm going to just give a very brief introduction to what we do and how we do it, and then I'm going to focus in on a particular area of research that we operate in that I think makes actually a very nice segue from what Tom just spoke about. So when I say that we're a full-service consultancy, we offer everything up through the manufacturing stage. We start with research, where we go out into the field, whether it's with physicians or patients in operating rooms, clinics, to understand where the needs are and where the opportunities in the marketplace are for our clients. And we then translate that into industrial design and user interface development and ergonomic and human factor studies. And then we've got a full team of mechanical, electrical, and software engineers to execute on those designs. We do not have in-house manufacturing, as Tom just discussed, but what we do instead is work very closely with a range of pre-qualified manufacturers, both here in the US as well as overseas in China. We have an office in Shenzhen that does nothing but vendor sourcing and manufacturing support in Asia to ensure a seamless transition between the design work that we've done and commercialization of our clients' devices. So this is my version of the client slide. And as you can see, in addition to many medical clients, we also work in 2 other industries, military electronics and high-end consumer electronics. Medical devices make up approximately 65, some months 70% of our business. It varies a bit. So the types of work we do ranges from large-scale operating theater devices, such as this waste fluid management system for Cardinal Health, down to the cutting device that might be in the surgeon's hand. We've done several of those for clients like Covidien. Implantables. This was done in partnership with a surgeon and his team up at UC Davis Health Center in Sacramento. It's an implantable device and an external interface for patients with a condition called dysphagia, which is the inability or severely restricted ability to swallow. Lots of heavy-duty mechanical engineering. This is a magnetically driven lancing device. And many consumer-oriented medical devices. For example, our work with Medela over the years has resulted in some extremely innovative and groundbreaking breastfeeding devices and breast milk collection systems. And we do a lot of work in the biosciences industry as well. This was done with Invitrogen Life Technologies down in Carlsbad a couple of years ago. It's a fully automated protein sampling device. We did everything from the front-end industrial design through all of the mechanical engineering, much of the electrical engineering as well, prototyping. And then on the high-end electronic side, a lot of work in the wireless industries and the PC markets. This was the world's thinnest laptop we did for Dell a couple of years ago, won Best of CES. Apple soon came out with a newer version of their MacBook Air that beat it by, I think, about half a millimeter. We do all the design, internal packaging, electronics, etc. This is literally a $25,000 cell phone that we did in conjunction with a design firm up in San Francisco called Fuse Project. We did all of the engineering and manufacturing solutions, and I just advise you not to drop it if you happen to have the kind of money to invest in such a device. And we also love to work on things at the opposite end of the spectrum, disposable pens and pencils for Papermate. Sometimes the elegance of a simple product like this can bring as much enjoyment as a $25,000 cell phone or more. It's kind of a broad range of work we've done over the years. So what I'd like to focus on today is maybe another opportunity for firms to compete. Tom spoke about ways to reduce costs and focus on low-cost medical device development. I'd like to tell you about a whole different market that you might want to think about, and a particular approach that we've taken with customers to assist them in gaining success in entering these markets. So what I'm speaking of is the medical device opportunities in developing countries, or what you might call a second or a third world country. In terms of the size of the opportunity, you can see that right now about 5.7 billion people live in markets that would be considered developing. In a few years, over the next 40 years in fact, that's going to grow by an additional 2.3 billion people, or patients. Sooner or later, they're going to have medical needs. In India alone, for example, over the next 5 years, they expect to add about 80,000 hospital beds per year just to meet known demand. Not for excess capacity, this is just to meet the known demand throughout India. And this is a really interesting statistic. The World Health Organization states that approximately 3/4 of the medical devices that have been donated to developing nations remain unused. They might be sitting in cabinets somewhere, they might be thrown out, they might be opened up and taken apart for components, who knows. But why is that happening? When we heard that statistic, we really thought to ourselves, there's got to be some reasons behind that. And maybe this is one of the key reasons. That the companies making these devices aren't taking the markets truly into account when they design them or sell them there, or the users into account. What we found with our clients who are considering marketing a device in a developing nation, they tend to take one of three approaches. The first is to sell the same thing that they're selling here, or in Western Europe, or in Canada. And that can kind of work, especially if you're selling to the very high-end magnet facilities or healthcare facilities that might be partnered with some of the big-name facilities here in the States, for example. But it's a limited market that can afford to pay for the same thing that you're selling to Western markets. Another strategy is a bit cynical, maybe. It's to take an out-of-date model that you really can't sell here anymore and try to market it over there. And the last is to take an existing design and to say, well, it works really well over here, but they can't afford it there, so let's just slice out some important features, cut the costs, and then let's see if we can sell it over in India or Africa. These might work to a limited extent, but it's really not the best approach to take. If you want to really gain success in these huge growing markets, you need to design for them and for their particular needs. So what does that mean? It means, first and foremost, overcoming the assumptions that all of us probably have, many of those assumptions built on stereotypes about what the people there need, how they might use medical devices, the particular medical conditions, and their means of treatment. And the best way to do that is to get some feet on the ground in these markets. And that's what PDT does. Research on the ground where you plan to sell a device. It's absolutely critical. And for the minimal investment made, the kind of payback that you can get in terms of insights that you can use to build devices that are tailored for success to these customers is immeasurable.